Welcome back to the site. Tonight we're going to tie the cracker. So the cracker is a fly from Mary Orvis Marbury's book, and it is a bass fly out of Florida. And the individual that tied it, he was catching black bass, and he said sea run bass, which I think may have been stripers, and also baby tarpon. So sit back, enjoy yourself. Let's get into the tie. So first thing we'll do is get our hook. Go ahead and put that in. Alright, and I'm just using a black, I think this is a 70 denier thread. And I'm just going to go ahead and run my thread back. I'm going to start this fly right where the tip of the barb stops. So that'll be just a little into the actual bend of the hook, right there. Go ahead and clip off that excess. This fly does have a silver tip, so we're going to go ahead and tie in our silver underneath. I'm just gonna, on this size hook, I'm thinking this is, I think this is medium mylar I'm using. So I'm just gonna make maybe 3 touching wraps for this tag. I'm not going real far with it because this is just going to be the tip, and I am going to tie in a yellow tag as well. So this fly starts off with a very salmon fly feel, with the tip and the yellow tag, and it certainly kind of has that feel to it. So we go ahead and I'm just going to take that extra. This is one of the bend back eye styles, so I'll be running material up on my side of the hook to fill in that gap as I tie. So just run the thread back. Right here. Now what I'm going to do is for the tag, I'm using just some bright yellow Unifloss, and I'm just going to take off maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 inches of material. Just clip that off the spool. Excuse me. And I'm going to want this to start. Get my thread to hang. I want this yellow tagged end right where the tip of the hook is. So that's right here. So I'm just going to put in 2 wraps there. And I'm going to run my thread up and get it out of the way. I'm just going to go back to the silver tip. These are touching wraps, and I'll come back over the top of that. And when I come back over the top, I'm slightly overlapping my wraps. That way I get a little bit of build, and I make sure I cover everything as I wanted. So there we have it. Now I just back my thread back down, come in, and I'll just clip this thread off and just wrap that in. Every once in a while you'll see me check to my side. I'm looking at the fly on camera, kind of to see in the angle that you all see. So the tail of this fly is married goose feather, goose shoulders, and it's yellow and gold, or yellow and excuse me, yellow and blue. I'm just marrying them up in my finger real quick, matching the two sides. So you can see that's just a small married wing, and I want this tail to be about the length of the shank of the hook. So not the full body, but something around that length there. As always, just separate your tail fibers, put one on either side. Right. I'm going to come up, just give a nice loose collecting wrap, and get that tail. See how I got that tail right where I want it? Then I can grab these ends here, this, and I can actually pick the whole thing up and set it right on top of the shank of the hook. Just like, okay, see how it's canted? This is why you don't want to clip too early. I can just grab the two ends and I can twist it and straighten that right out. See that? So now I'm just going to make some collecting wraps, and I'm going to move these fibers over onto my side. And these are just loose collecting wraps. I don't want to torque anything down yet, because I can knock that tail out of alignment if you get too excited. if you torque it down too hard, too quick, you can knock it out of alignment. So coming in here, come up. That's right where I want it. See that? All right. The next portion of the tail is some peacock sword, and you want these longer ones. I don't need a bunch. I need about 3 or 4. And I just pull those off the quill like so. Get the bunch. See how they're just all crazy? What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take them and twist them in my fingers. That'll kind of get them all aligned, moving in the same direction for me. I had one that didn't want to behave, so we just went ahead and pulled that one out. So these curlicues here, I'm just going to clip those off so I have a better feather to tie on. So we're here. I'm just going to lay that right on the top of that tail. Come down. And again, just loose collecting wraps. Make sure I got what I want. So we're here. Come back. Next thing we'll do is we're going to roll this over. I'm going to have a blue body and I'm going to have a gold rib on this fly. Now, you can use whatever gold rib material you have. I'm looking to see if I've got any laying around. I've got some embossed actual gold tinsel, so I'm going to use that because, well, I just like the way it looks on the fly, and I don't get much call to use it, so I use it when I can. And this is about a medium size, so I'll just tie that in. Then I'm just going to take my thread forward right up to where I'm going to want the body to stop, which I'm going to take it right up to here. Now the body of this fly is a royal blue uni floss as well. So this uni floss is a single strand. So if you're using Danville, you can have a lot of waste because you may only want to use one strand, but you're going to get 4. So, you know, if you pull those 4 off, then you only clip one, and you end up losing sight of the remainder if you're not careful. All right. So we're just going to go back, touching wraps, all the way back to the junction of the tail. I'm doing this just like I would the yellow, when I did the yellow section. Just doing side by side, then when I come back forward I'll overlap just a little bit. And that overlap helps ensure you get a good coverage all the way across the body. When you get back to this section, you just want to rotate that vise a little bit just to ensure you're getting full coverage. This tinsel does not want to behave now. So now we're just moving forward. So yeah, this fly, it was submitted to Orvis from and the gentleman that tied it originally, his name slips my mind right now, but he was fishing this for bass in Florida, and this is like 1870s. So just to kind of put that in perspective, the Civil War just ended. I mean, in 1865. I mean, the Battle of Gettysburg, that happened in January 4th, 1863. So, I mean, this is an old pattern. You know, sometimes you say dates and people are like, "Oh, that was a long time ago," and you don't think about it and put it into terms of, your history class. But it was a long time ago. So next thing we're going to do is just rib this fly. So I'm going to come up and over the top. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. I could tell that wasn't going to give me the right amount of wraps. I want 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's number 5. I'll come up under, not really a 6th wrap, I just want to put in a couple loose wraps there just to bind down that tinsel. Roll that over. Cut your tinsel. So if you're going to cut tinsel with scissors, first off, use old scissors. That's my first thing I'd tell you. The second thing is when you cut way down in deep in here. So the next section we're going to do is this fly has an underwing of white turkey, these white turkey tip feathers. I'm actually just going to cut it out of this section for to make the wing. Usually I do all this off camera, but so I'm just going to select a slip about that size, come in, clip that one off, and I'm going to set this to the left here, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the right side. So come in, clip that off. If you just wet your finger just a little bit, you can usually pick these feathers up. So I have the two pieces on the camera here, and I'm just going to marry them side by side like so. And I do want that, I want that point to go up. I have the company of my dog down here with me today, so he's sniffing around. So what I want, this is called an underwing, and I want that underwing to go right about that length right there. It's going to go just a little shorter than the full wing. So I tie this in just like before. I'm going to set it on there, and I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to pinch, and I'm just going to go around it once, come down, and then come up, and then I'm going to pull. And when I'm pulling, I'm pinching all those fibers together with my fingers, and I get a nice wing to stand up. Okay? Like so. So that is what I'm looking for on the wing. And you can tell it's just a little off. So I'll grab both these ends. I can kind of manipulate that wing a little bit and get it to do what I want. See that on camera? Right there? Alright. So I've already pulled the slips, cut the slips. I just have to marry these wings here. And this is, again, this is just more goose shoulder. And this is red and blue. So it'll be blue on, or red on the bottom, blue on top, like so. That'll be right side, or left side rather, and then this will be right side. I'm just setting them. So I heard a gentleman say one time, I don't remember who it was, where I was at. It could have been online, it could have been at a show, but he was kind of talking about evolution of tying for a fly tire. And he said, you know, if you want to get into tying those really intricate, really pretty, fully dressed salmon flies, which is something I wouldn't mind tying, he said start off with wet flies and then get into these kind of more dressy bass flies, and that'll really lead you into it. And it really does. I mean, there's with probably some minor changes in colors and materials, this could easily be a salmon fly. So I'm just going to torque down that wing to really get it where I want it to be. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to pull it and push it down, and that kind of gets that bloop that I'm looking for. And that's a technical term, bloop. So now I'm going to set the wing. Because I have that underwing, I'm going to set my wings one at a time. And I just want them to go just a little beyond where that underwing is. So I just a little past it. So what I'm going to do is just go down once, and I'm going to pinch it, and I'm just going to kind of work the weight down slowly. Like so. I got the wing down, and I can really work it and manipulate it into the position I want at this point. Okay. Just like so. And then the next wing we'll put on will be this the other side closest to you. So same thing, it'll be the blue on top, red on the bottom, and I'm just kind of gonna put this up like so, and then let me rotate this fly in the position we need it, come up and over, and again I'm just kind of Just kind of letting that bobbin's weight pull it down as I pinch everything tight. And, you know, you'll have time to manipulate and torque your wings and get those things in the way you want them. You can kind of work those wings as needed. There we go. So now it's going to be time to clip off all of that extra materials. And this is, when you do this portion, you really want to make sure you're hanging onto your wing, because if you're not, you can cause yourself a lot of problems. Okay. Just working to manipulate that wing a little bit, kind of get it the shape I want. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a topping now of peacock sword over the top of this fly. Over the top of that wing, rather. And it's done the same way as before. I'm just going to get myself maybe 5 or 6 that look good. They don't need to go back all the way. Just a nice representation coming up over the top of the wing. I'm going to clip these curlicues off just like before. Now if I was tying this with like a golden pheasant crest, you know, then that would be something we would see going, you know, a lot farther back. So there is the peacock sword as the topper. I got a little bit too much on my side, so we'll clean that up a little bit. And if it's not doing what you want, just back it off, reset it. Come back in. Okay. Sometimes getting these wings to set the way you want. You can tell as you're working on this, those wings are pretty durable. You can give them some pretty good torque before they break or damage on you. So next thing is, this fly has two throats. One is red and one is brown in color. So I'm just going to tie in the brown first. You can tell I've cleaned off one side of the hook because I don't want, two full feathers could really overpower this fly. So a couple wraps, get that nice and tight. Now the recipe, well, what I've read online, which is pretty subjective, says 2 wraps. But I'm going to tell you, you need to take that with a grain of salt when you see that in a pattern, because they don't know how dense that feather is you're using, and you may be having a super dense feather. You may have a feather like what I got here that's just kind of average. So you made 3 or 4 wraps maybe needed. You just kind of have to take that on how you want the fly to look. Just going to wet my fingers, push back those, just a wrap or two to hold all that backwards, like so. Alright, next thing we'll do is we're going to put in the red throat, and we're going to tackle this the same way, kind of in a soft tackle style. So just come up underneath, give it a couple wraps. I want to make sure that's nice and tight, because it may not seem like it, but you're putting quite a bit of torque on that feather when you do these wraps. So I'm going to use my hackle pliers on this one. We go one, and this one's a little denser feather, so I don't think it'll take as many wraps. So I'll just do kind of 2.5 on that one. Now come up, catch that quill with 1, 2. That gives me a really good clean tie off for it. Clip that, and then I can just pull everything back. And you know, I've tied this a couple times, and I've seen it tied with a black head, with just a thread head, and I've seen it tied with a red wool head. And honestly, I kind of like it better with the black head, so that's how I'm going to finish this one. A little bit of feather sticking out right there. Alright. Just kind of cleaning up the head a little bit on this fly. So the last thing to do is to go ahead and hit this with the whip finish and then some lacquer. Now I like to hit these portions here with a little bit of my there we go. Just kind of rough that up a little bit. We can even kick that wing. So this is the cracker, which is again one of Mary Orvis's flies. If you like this fly, if you like this kind of content, I would ask you please to hit that like, subscribe, and follow me as I enjoy kind of tying some of the heritage flies of you know, a bygone era, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much, and until next time, I'm Trent, and I'll see you around the vise.